Hey everyone! Welcome back to Financial Futures. It's great to have you here today, and I've got some groundbreaking news that could reshape how states support their residents. In just 2 weeks, Oregon residents will be voting on something that could set a massive precedent: a Universal Basic Income (UBI) program. This would guarantee every resident a $750 check every year, no strings attached. This is huge, and it might not stop with Oregon. This could spread across the entire U.S. as more states start paying attention. Before we get into the full breakdown, please take a moment to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Your support helps keep these important updates coming, and I truly appreciate it. Alright, let's get right into it. Oregon is about to become the first state in the U.S. to vote on a statewide Universal Basic Income program. This proposal is simple, but potentially revolutionary. Every resident, regardless of income, age, or status, would receive $750 every year. That's right, whether you make $20,000 a year or $500,000, you'd still get a check for $750. You might be wondering, how does Oregon plan to fund this? Well, the proposal includes a new tax on large corporations. The money collected from these taxes would then be distributed evenly among all Oregon residents. So, everyone benefits, from students to retirees, regardless of whether or not they file taxes. This is not your typical government handout program. It's what's called a Universal Basic Income, where the key word is universal. Unlike targeted programs like Guaranteed Basic Income (GBI), which only applies to specific groups, like new parents or low-income individuals, UBI covers everyone. Every person living in the state is eligible. Now you might be thinking, but I don't live in Oregon, so why should I care? Well, let me explain. If Oregon passes this, it's very likely that other states will follow suit. That's how these things often go. Just look at the history of guaranteed basic income programs in the U.S. The very first guaranteed basic income program was launched in Stockton, California back in 2019. Once that was set in motion, we saw over 150 similar programs spring up across the country. The key takeaway here is that once one state moves, others often follow. If Oregon votes yes on this UBI, you can bet states like California, New York, and others will start exploring similar initiatives. This could be the start of something much bigger that could eventually affect millions of people across the U.S. Imagine this: if more states adopt UBI, it could fundamentally change the way we think about income, economic security, and how government assistance is distributed. No more red tape, no more qualifiers, just a check, every year, for every person. So, what exactly are the details? Here's what you need to know. Eligibility: every Oregon resident, regardless of income, household size, or employment status, would get $750. This is completely different from targeted programs where you have to meet specific criteria, like being below a certain income threshold or part of a specific demographic. How families benefit: if you're part of a family of 4, that's $3,000 per year, $750 per person. This money would be a big help for many households, whether it's to cover essential expenses or add to savings. Payment method: the proposal indicates that these payments could be made as an advance on a tax credit, meaning that it would likely appear on your tax return unless you choose to receive it upfront. And for those who don't file tax returns, the government could either mail a check or directly deposit the funds into bank accounts, similar to how stimulus checks were handled in the past. Funding source: as I mentioned earlier, the money for this program comes from increased taxes on large corporations. So, rather than the state pulling money from existing social programs, they're focusing on taxing the biggest companies in the state to fund this initiative. It's a bold approach, and we'll have to see how businesses respond. Now, let's talk about the bigger picture and why this could have a long-lasting impact not just in Oregon but across the nation. If Oregon's UBI program is successful, it will pave the way for other states to launch similar programs. This could potentially turn into a national conversation about whether universal basic income should be rolled out federally. Think about it. What if your state passed a similar law? Would an extra $750 every year make a difference in your life? While $750 isn't life-changing, it can definitely help ease financial burdens, especially for families. And if more states adopt this, the amounts could potentially increase over time. After all, guaranteed income programs didn't start at $1,000 a month overnight, it took time and gradual growth. We might also see variations of this, like a very broad guaranteed basic income, GBI, that applies to more than just small groups of people. Maybe it won't be everyone who gets the check, but entire income brackets under $100,000 per year could start receiving payments. Either way, it's clear that this vote in Oregon has the potential to create a domino effect nationwide. So, what's next? Oregon residents will vote on this proposal in just 2 short weeks, and the outcome could be historic. Even if you don't live in Oregon, it's worth paying attention to. Whether you're in Florida, Texas, California, or anywhere else, the results of this vote could impact your state's future policies. And if you know anyone living in Oregon, make sure to share this video with them. It's important that everyone is informed about this vote because it could affect their financial future in a major way. Thanks for tuning into Financial Futures today. I hope this video gave you some insight into what's happening in Oregon and why it matters for the whole country. Be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any updates. I'll be keeping a close eye on this, and will let you know as soon as we have results. And as always, hit that like button if you found this video helpful, and check out more of my videos for insights on personal finance, economic trends, and how you can better prepare for your financial future. Stay informed, stay empowered, and I'll see you in the next one.